Welcome back to the Andrew Finney Show, where we help you make sense of real estate. My name is Andrew Finney, your host with King Realty Group here in Las Vegas, Nevada. A couple of quick ground rules. Number one, this is a safe place, so please be respectful and be polite. Number two, there is no such thing as a stupid question. So if you're thinking it, please ask it. Simply use the chat box to do it. What we'll do is we'll lead in with this past week's comments that have come in on the channel. We'll go ahead and answer those questions while we wait for people to join us live. And when you have a question, please feel free to ask. We'll look forward to having a wonderful time with you today. And thank you for being here. Okay, so the first question came from Natalie Vegas 1965. Natalie was watching 6 questions to ask when buying a new construction home. She says, your vids have been very helpful to me. Thank you for giving great advice. We are in the loan process of a new construction and it's been the most stressful thing I've ever been through. I like the tip on asking about home warranties because I knew there's a 1-year warranty on appliances, but I didn't even think to ask about the structural part. And talking with neighbors, I saw on my street some families that are already living there. I'll definitely be talking with them. So Natalie, thank you so much for watching that video and thank you for sharing what you took away from it. It's really great that that was helpful to you. Now, just a kind of a tip of some more questions you might want to ask the builder when it comes down to the warranty. Normally they give you like a 1-year bumper to bumper warranty. It's one of the coolest things that I think are out there with new construction is essentially that first 1-year cycle. Now, what you want to do is you want to start a homeowner journal if you haven't done so already, and you want to make sure that you're keeping track of any time that you contact the service department to help you out and getting any repairs made. Keeping track of that will really help out. Essentially everything in the house is covered. Now, of course, if you knock a hole in the wall or something from moving in, they're not necessarily going to cover that. At the same time, they will cover many other things, Natalie. And then yes, a lot of times you'll have a 10-year structural limited manufacturer warranty, if you will. So there's a lot of things that go into that as well. You want to know specifically what those coverages are for, how long you have to use them, and what exactly they cover. So the other part of that, Natalie, that you'll want to take into consideration is when you're talking about the appliances. Sometimes the builders won't necessarily have the appliance coverage themselves. They'll suggest that you reach out to the manufacturer of the appliances to go ahead and get that warranty. So be clear on how that process works, and if you have a smart home, be clear on the process of what happens after you close. Antonio Olea, thank you so much for being here today. Love your videos. Thanks to your videos, I gained some insight on the home buying process. Thanks, Andrew. And thank you, Antonio. I'm glad that you were able to take away some helpful information. I've made a lot of videos, Antonio, about the home buying process. If you want to hit up the home buying tips playlist, you might find it very beneficial. And of course, since you're here with us live today, Antonio, if you have any questions that are on your mind right now, please feel free to ask them. And let's go ahead and give you some more peace of mind and some more insights on the home buying process. Thank you for being here, Antonio. Really appreciate you. Okay, so then we had Vincent Gumatay that had watched Closing Day for Home Buyers, What You Should Know. Vincent says, thank you, Andrew, for all your priceless insight and advice. Hoping to soon close on an out-of-state forever home. Vincent, thank you so much for watching that video, and congratulations on getting ready to close on your out-of-state forever home. I hope it's been a wonderful time for you. If you happen to come on live today, let us know where you are in the closing process. All the same, sending you positive energy and mojo about getting the keys to your new forever home soon, and super happy that the videos were able to help you out. Paul Zorn watched Closing Costs for Buyers and Sellers, What You Should Know, and he says, this is the absolute best video. Thank you so much for this. So helpful. Paul, thank you so much for watching that video. I'm glad that you took a lot out of it. Depending on whether you're the buyer or the seller, I've actually made videos dedicated to each when it comes to the closing costs. So I broke down seller closing costs just for the seller, and I've also broke out another video very extensively on buyer closing costs and just buyer closing costs. So if you really want to dig deep and understand the costs that you're going to see on your estimated settlement statement, those are the things that you want to check out, or if your closing disclosure, right? So you want to check that out. And if you need help learning what a loan estimate is and how to read that, I've done a video about that too. All the same, thank you so much for watching that, and thank you so much for letting us know what you took from it. Thomas Reto watched 9 questions to ask your mortgage lender, and Thomas says, great video, thank you, sir, and gave me one of these. So Thomas, thank you for watching the video, and give you one of these. I think that's like hang loose, high five, Hawaii type thing, right? So either way, aloha, mahalo, and greatly appreciate you joining us, and greatly happy that that video helped you out. Thank you, Thomas. Ray 1983 Abel was watching 9 questions to ask your mortgage lenders. It seems to be a very popular video lately. So we have Ray saying, informative video, 5-star rating. I will study this video. I apologize for some of this vibration that you might be hearing in your speaker right now. I got some inbound calls coming in while we're live. Shooting live off the cell phone is one of the easiest ways I can shoot live, so sorry about that. But Ray, thank you so much for watching that video. I'm glad you took a lot out of that. I've also made other videos about questions to ask your mortgage loan officer and different considerations that you may wish to consider when it comes to getting a mortgage and understanding your loan options. The loan estimate video will be massively powerful to you to help you understand the breakdown, the numbers, and what you'll end up paying at the end of the day. I'd suggest that you read that, or excuse me, suggest that you watch that video and see how it works out. Darrin Carter says, Andrew, we're all moved in. Darrin, thank you for being here, and thank you for letting us know you got the keys to your new home. It was super exciting. Last week, Darrin was getting ready to sign the closing documents on his new home as we were live. He said, hey, Andrew, in like 2 to 3 hours, I'll be signing. He hit us up later that day in the comments on that video that he had watched and let us know that he is now a brand new happy homeowner, and we're super excited to have you again, Darrin. Congratulations to you and your family. I hope you enjoyed a wonderful first week in your new home and are getting ready for a wonderful holiday season together. Super, super happy for you guys, and super, super happy that you're here, Darrin. Thank you. Oh, your wife cried. Yeah, it is very emotional buying a house, and I'm happy to see that everything worked out for you guys and your wife cried. I'm sure tears of joy for all the wonderful memories and happiness that you guys will make in your new home. Super excited for you guys as you guys turn a home into more than just 4 walls and a roof. You turn it into the place that resonates with the heart, and that you guys build memories together as you fill the walls of your new home with love. That's really what home is about, and I'm super happy for you and your family. Then we have Thomas Reto watched a different video, and Thomas would watch what home inspectors look for in a home inspection. Thomas says, thank you for the wonderful format and checklist. This helps my family and I out very much as I am ready to very possibly buy a small home directly across the street from my current house for my mother-in-law to reside, and someday for my 2 boys so they don't have to pay a full rent while they figure out their lives. Thomas, thank you for sharing that with us. It sounds like you have an awesome game plan for your family with your mother-in-law and for your 2 boys. I can only imagine what that must be like to have parents and have people in your life that will set you up for success in life in that way. You're absolutely right. You know, teaching them to pay rent at least a little bit to you whenever they come of age for those homes is probably a good idea. At the same time, it's really going to help them out depending on what you choose to do, setting them up for massive success from day one. And I really hope they realize the sacrifices that you've made and are very grateful for how wonderful of a father you are to them to help them get started in the right direction in life. So Thomas, really appreciate you sharing with us, and I'm glad that you took a lot out of that video about what home inspectors look for during a home inspection, and I'm glad that you like the checklist associated with that video as well. In Perspective watch, 6 questions to ask when buying a new home construction. In Perspective says, love the tip about knocking on a prospective neighbor's door to ask about his or her experience with the builder. I'm glad that that was one of the key points you took away. In Perspective, it's one of the most powerful things. Think of it like this. You know, when people leave reviews, right? Normally you get like 1 positive review, there might be another 2 or 3 people that might have a negative review, but the statistics are something like 1 in 26 people will actually leave a negative review if they had a bad experience. So when you see 1 negative review, it could be 26. If you see 1 positive, it might be another 2 or 3 positive reviews that should be in there too, but people didn't have the time or take the time to make the positive review. So one of the ways when you're looking at new construction to make sure that you're in a right neighborhood for you is to talk to the neighbors that are there. Ask them for their insights. Ask them to share their wisdom with you about what they experienced in the new home building process and anything that they wish they would have done differently. What a lot of people say they would like to do differently is obviously, number 1, having their own trusted real estate advisor with them to represent their best interest. And number 2 is to seriously consider getting a third-party home inspector to have your own home inspection done, even though the builder is going to be inspecting the property as time goes by. I've worked with several families that buy new construction, and it's really interesting. The builders do a great job of inspecting. The builders do a great job of the process. But when you bring in the extra added layer of a third-party home inspector that's bound to the buyer's best interest, beautiful things happen because they always find stuff that needs to be fixed, and it gives you more peace of mind going into the closing day of that property. So I always recommend, obviously with new construction, number one, have your own trusted real estate advisor. Number two, have your own home inspector to monitor the process. Those home inspections can cost more money since it's such a long process, but all the same, talk to them and see if that's something that you want to do. And of course, depending on what incentives the builder may or may not be offering, perhaps having your own trusted local loan officer is also a wise idea. Now, it is important to note when you're looking at a lot of builder incentives that generally the way that they're giving these incentives is no one's going to give you anything for free. They'll normally increase the rate a little bit to offset the cost of the incentives. So that's something that you want to be clear about, and you should definitely have at least a second opinion on your mortgage loan options and weigh the pros and the cons to help you make a well-informed decision of whether you really want those incentives or not, and you understand any kind of cost or con associated with accepting those incentives, and see what a different loan officer could do with you that's not affiliated with the builder to see how it's going to play out for you at the end of the day. Either way, just having that information available is going to help you make a well-informed decision. And isn't that what it's all about, especially when you get ready to buy a home? It is, right? So the more information we can give you, the better. And if you have any questions about that, just hit me up. Or if you want to see a different video about new home construction, just let me know and I'll add it to my list of videos to make. 2019 is going to be a great year for videos. I've been doing a lot of background work right now, getting ready to start releasing recorded content again, and I'm super excited about it. It'll probably be coming out the 1st of January 2019 before I get into starting to release the recorded content again, but super excited about that and super excited to see what you guys think of it. Okay, so Darrin Carter says, when you do an FHA like we did, they didn't allow us to purchase new construction, plus FHA has you pay for both home inspection or both inspections. Okay, so that's really interesting. So FHA is a primary occupant type loan, right? And depending on any specific loan program you may have had would have dictated whether you could buy new construction or not. In some cases you can buy new construction. It just really depends on the loan program. FHA is like, if you think of it kind of like a tree maybe, or you think about it of like a banner. An FHA is a type of loan, but underneath it is down payment assistance, home is possible, so many other different types of loan products that are available underneath the FHA world. So they have different commonalities, but the one commonality that never changes is it's always a primary owner occupant type loan, which means that you have to reside in the property after you purchase it. So sometimes they'll allow new construction and sometimes they won't. It's specific to the program. All the same, I'm glad that you brought that up because you're absolutely right. Depending on where you're in the country and where you are with the type of FHA loan you have, you may or may not be able to buy a new home construction. So that's really cool. When you say it, they have you pay for both inspections, I'm kind of curious what you're talking about there, Darrin. Are you talking about the home appraisal and the home inspection? Because those are traditionally buyer closing costs, and sometimes buyers do get it confused, unfortunately, that a home appraisal is actually an inspection when it's not. A home appraisal is actually for an appraiser that works for the bank to go out there and assign the value and the appraiser's opinion of what that value should be for that property. That's the purpose of an appraiser. Now, will they know any health or safety concerns that they may have about a certain property? Absolutely they will. That's their job, is to help protect you with the guidelines and that are set forth for that specific loan program, and also report back to the lender whether it's a safe property for you to purchase, and also assess the risk profile of said property. That being said, a home inspection is completely different. A home inspector is hopefully a certified home inspector is going to go in and use roughly a 1,600 point checklist to review the home's condition, whether it's resale or new construction. It might be slightly different with the checklist because you're dealing with new versus used. At the same time, what it is they're going to go in and give their opinion of the property's condition as of the time they inspected that property. So it's important to note that whenever you're talking about costs there. They are traditionally buyer closing costs though, Darrin. So it doesn't surprise me that you would have paid for those fees since they are traditionally a buyer closing cost. But I really appreciate you bringing that up, especially about the FHA loan. Thank you. Okay, then we had Vincent Gumatay that had watched Should I Wait to Buy a House? 4 Excuses Holding You Back. And Vincent says, wow, you packed so much insight and advice in a turbocharged fashion. Keep on keeping it real. Well, Vincent, I'm so glad that you enjoyed that video and that you caught on to all the real advice and real counsel in that episode. I'm super excited that it helped you out, and you're absolutely right. And yes, sir, I will definitely keep on keeping it real. And I really appreciate you letting me know what you took away from that episode. Thank you, Vincent. If you have any ideas from any other episodes, just let me know. Then we had FortNikitaBullions that had watched top 5 real estate scams. Don't get tricked. Nikita says, what if you tell the moving company is holding your stuff hostage and there's a time bomb amongst your stuff, and if they don't deliver it so you can defuse it, it might cause damage to their properties? So Nikita, that's actually pretty hilarious. I think that we're kind of going with a joke right there. All the same, hey, it's pretty funny. And yeah, so in reality, what would happen, Nikita, is if you told somebody there was a bomb, a time bomb in your stuff, and you were making that kind of a threat, you'd probably have the CIA and FBI at your front door in about 2 seconds, and they might be calling you a domestic terrorist. So we wouldn't want to see that happen to you, Nikita. All the same, I completely understand your point and some of the frustrations that can happen whenever you get up with a mover and some of the issues that can happen there. Best practice is just to follow advice that I shared in that episode. Make sure you do your research, make sure you do your due diligence, and make sure that everything is in writing. All the same, Nikita, really appreciate you watching that episode and really appreciate you commenting. Darrin says, we paid for the first inspection, we paid for the appraisal, we paid for the last inspection after FHA came in and saw anything that wasn't up to code. This was after the appraisal process. Okay. Very interesting. So I really appreciate you sharing that with us, and you're absolutely right. There can definitely be more than one. If an appraiser has to go back out to reassess the property for any reason after the first time, then yes, there can be a reinspection fee. Same thing goes with home inspectors. Some of them charge it, some of them don't charge it. It would have been specific to the home inspection company that you were using, though it is very common that if an appraiser has to go out to a property twice, then you have the one charge and then you have the second reinspection fee as well. So glad that you bring that up. It's definitely exposing some different things that happen in practice and different things that happen in reality. So certainly appreciate you sharing your situation with us, Darrin, to help us continue learning and growing together. Thank you. Aaron Christofferson had watched First Time Homebuyers 17 that will change the way you buy a house. Aaron says, we really wish that you were in Colorado buying a house in the first quarter, watching all your stuff. Thanks for the info. Aaron, thank you for watching the video. Super glad that they're helping you out. There's a lot of videos I made about first-time home buying and home buying in general. Please definitely check them out, binge watching, whatever you want to do to them, right? But learn from them most importantly. And if you need help finding a trusted real estate advisor in Colorado, hit me up directly. My contact information is in the show more description below. And of course, I'll hit you up after this live stream, giving you my contact information too, just in case you need help. I can have up to 3 agents reach out to you, 3 top agents where you live in Colorado, to make sure that you're getting the right fit to help you purchase your new home. All the same, you know, I really wish I could work with everybody that finds me on the channel and work together. It's always so much fun working with the people that I have met here locally that have found me on the channel, and it's a wonderful, wonderful time and a wonderful, wonderful experience at large. So of course, I've said this and I'll keep saying it. I am looking forward to the time whenever I have the opportunity to find somebody meets me on YouTube and then we set a time to meet up in person. I am looking forward to the opportunity whenever somebody says, hey, Andrew, we would love to do like a reality series with you through the home buying or home selling process. That to me would be absolutely dynamic and amazing, so that you could see and everybody could watch somebody realistically going through it as we guide them from start to finish in the buying process or the selling process or both. And it's be a really, really cool. So if anyone knows of anyone in Vegas that's in that situation that would be comfortable on camera, just let me know. I never put anyone on camera that's not open to it, obviously, or uncomfortable with it. So I want to respect everybody's privacy and respect everybody's wishes. And so it's going to be unique when that does happen. We do know that LaRon Hall, who will be here in a couple years, has already agreed to go on camera, but it is a couple years out. So if anybody's more pressing to buy a home or sell a home at this time, then let me know. It'll be a lot of fun doing that. Darrin says they only ordered an appraisal because we bid more than what the house was on the market for. Yep. So that's kind of interesting. So it sounds like there's some definite unique things going on between you and your loan officer, Darrin. Certainly appreciate you letting us know and sharing that information with us, because that is very real. Tye H, that's a great idea. I definitely watch. Yeah, Tye, you know, are you in Vegas? Because let's get to it, right? No, I'm just kidding. So There's some different things that I've been working on, obviously, since I haven't been making as much recorded content, or at least ways releasing that recorded content right now. Some of the things I've been working on is I've been exploring different video editors that are out there so that I can shoot the videos, have a professional video editor edit the videos, and improve upon it in that way, throw in some different effects, throw in some different, what they call lower thirds, which is when I make the main points pop up stuff. I've had new logos designed. I've been building up a whole bunch of what are called assets when we're building out videos, getting stuff ready to go for 2019 so that we can begin making even more powerful videos. That being said, I'm definitely going to be promoting the channel. I have never promoted the YouTube channel. All the growth, all 5,500 and counting subscribers to the channel right now have all just been organic, probably courtesy of you reaching out to your family and friends, letting them know, sharing it around. And that's how we've grown over the since I started this channel. It's just all organic. What I am looking at doing is start promoting the channel to try to help more people. Based upon the thousands of comments that we got in this year, it really is apparent that it's really dynamic and life-changing for a lot of people. So I want to be able to help more people be able to make sense of real estate and know how transparent it should be, and know the differences in between good and bad and all that good stuff, and how to make well-informed decisions. So it's something I'm really passionate about, and I'm definitely going to be putting it out there more. Obviously, from a business perspective, I'd also hope to be able to attract more people here in Las Vegas that I could work with. My experience thus far with people that have found me on YouTube in Las Vegas that I've worked with, absolutely some of the most savvy home buyers and home sellers I have ever worked with, because they have watched the videos, they know what to expect, they listen, they absorb the knowledge and the information. We have really wonderful conversations about what's most important to them, and we help keep things in perspective in the timeline that's most important to them to help them achieve their goal, whether it's buying or selling. It's been absolutely amazing meeting people from YouTube, in addition to the comments that come in on the live stream, the comments that come in just in general around the country, and the emails and phone calls that take place as well. It's just really awesome. It's one of the reasons why when we're live once a week, I absolutely love the engagement, because I feel more connected to you, and it just is so awesome to feel connected to you and have these conversations, just like Tye's like, hey, that's a great idea, definitely watch. Hey, you know what, love it. Love it, and hoping to do that very soon for you guys. Okay, so then we have Linh Tran that watched What is an HOA? Lynn says, very informative, thank you. Lynn, thank you for watching that video. I'm glad that helped you out to better understand what an HOA is. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know. Definitely appreciate you watching that episode. Thank you. Okay. And then it looks like Aaron asked another question after watching 12 negotiation tips when buying a house. Aaron says, quick question. So the prices I see on Zillow or Realtor aren't appraised by the seller? They're just picking a price out of the clouds that sounds nice? Thanks for your response. Okay, Aaron, so that's a really interesting topic, and I'm certainly happy that you brought that up. So no, they're not an appraised value. The prices that you see on Realtor, on Zillow, on Redfin, or any other website for that matter, other than a real estate agent's website, or even then, actually, kind of think about it, aren't technically appraised, right? They're not appraised by the seller. What it is the price that hopefully the seller has worked with a great listing agent, and they've been honest about the fair market value of the home. But that's why you do see price reductions even in the strongest of sellers market. If it's priced too high and it's not realistic to the comparable sales in the area, then it's just not going to fly. An appraiser is not going to be able to do it, and unless a buyer is willing to come out of pocket the difference of an appraised value and the sales price, which really depends on a buyer's financial circumstances and their emotional attachment to that property, it may or may not happen, right? Because a buyer can't get more home loan than the amount of the technical appraised value from an actual appraiser, right? So it's important to note that. So when you see the prices like a Zestimate, or you see like Redfin estimates, Zillow, or excuse me, Realtor estimates, or what have you, those, the way that they come up with those is they're using an algorithm that's reading a lot of different data all at one time. They're taking into account the most recent comparable sales for that area with like and kind type homes. But with any algorithm, it's not 100% tightened up. It's not 100% accurate. Zillow actually self-publishes like an accountability survey, if you will, an accountability report, letting you know, depending on what area that you live in, how much their estimates can fluctuate in actual valuation. I know like here in Las Vegas, Nevada, they say that fluctuation can be anywhere between 5% and 7% of the price. Well, that's pretty significant if you're talking about a $500,000 home and you're talking about up to 7% difference in between their estimate and the actual value of the home. That means that they could be off as much as $35,000 on the high side, or they could be short as much as $35,000 on the low side. So where do you get the better information? You contact a trusted real estate advisor, you ask them to perform a comparative market analysis, you review the comps and review the sales. Back to the algorithms that Zillow and those other companies use, one of the other things they're doing when they're scraping the data out, they're also looking at county records. Now, this can be good and bad in a different way, because this can also show you what homes are selling that may not have necessarily gone on the multiple listing service. It can show you how much they're selling for off market, if you will. At the same time, it'll also show any time a refinance on a property has been done. So this can drive a value higher. This can drive a value lower, depending on the person that's refinancing in that area. Did they borrow more against the money? Did they do like a cash out refinance, which would enable them to maybe take out up to 110% of the value of their home, artificially inflating that comparable by 10%? Or did they do a refinance because they found a more attractive interest rate, or maybe they just want to do a principal reduction, so they refinanced their property and maybe they only took out $200,000 when everything else is selling for $500,000, and now it looks like there's a low sell. So understanding how that data fits into those algorithms is extremely important, because the way they're currently designed is they take everything into account and then base it upon like a median average for the area, and that's how they come up with it. That's why you can see the differences in the price point. Now, the best way to know what a price is for a property is obviously to meet with a trusted real estate advisor, talk over comparative market analysis. Now, even a real estate agent's opinion of the pricing of that property may not be the same as an appraiser. An appraiser is a whole different capacity of a real estate agent that goes out there, that works for the bank, and assigns a value based upon their opinion of the value of that property, based upon recent sales, condition of the property, any improvements that may have been made to the property that are in keeping with the area, right? There's a lot of stuff going on there, I know. That's why I actually put together a whole different video about understanding the difference between valuations and comps, Aaron. If you want to go back and check it out, it is a long video. It is about 20 minutes, and it is titled The Difference in Between Valuations and Comps, what you should know about them. So if you want to check that out and you really want to start digging deep to better understand it, you'll get a lot of the information in that video. Likewise, anyone watching right now during the live session or after, if that's something that's of curiosity to you, or you want to explore that some more, feel free to hit that video up. You'll get a lot of questions answered. Or if you're on a live stream right now and you're wondering about it, just let me know and we can answer it directly, okay? Aaron, thank you so much for watching that video, and thank you for your wonderful comment and your wonderful question. It's a very real one, and it's one that I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about out there. Okay, so then we had Saira Jabbar that had watched Buying a Home with Student Loan Debts. And she says, I have $50,000 plus student loans. Can I still qualify for FHA? That's a great question, Saira. And the only best source of information for that's going to be contacting a local loan officer in your area to see how your student loans are going to affect you purchasing a home with FHA or any other type of loan program that's out there. The reason I bring that up is those rules regarding student loans seem to change every 3 to 6 months. So it's one of those things that the best way to know for sure if you can qualify or not is simply to pick up a phone, ask a question of the local loan officer, ask them to review your loan options with you, and get a good idea of what's going on moving forward. Put your fear to rest, which is just simply that false evidence appearing real, and empower yourself with the knowledge that comes with it. That way you can have the comfort of a strong game plan moving forward, Saira. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your question. Okay, Tye H, are the real estate advisors that I recommend vetted by me or a team of those of us in other states? I've met with a couple of agents, but not sure if we meshed. So Tye, that's a great question, and I'm glad that you asked me that. So what happens is I have I have a portal essentially of top agents around the United States that all have professional designations, that have met the muster, that have been vetted for top performance metrics, and also having continuing education of taking their career to the next level, and they have high ratings as far as the people that they worked with. So they're vetted through another entity, if you will. So whenever somebody asks me for a trusted real estate advisor, what I do is I turn to my top agent network that's nationwide, and I submit the information that I'm going to ask you for, which would be, tell me more about your home. That's why I always ask people to email me, because I'll send you a questionnaire. Once I get that questionnaire back, I'll make the recommendation, send you an update that I have put you in touch with my top agent network, and up to 3 agents will reach out to you to ensure that there is going to be a great fit. I have up to 3 top agents reach out because, as you mentioned a moment ago, you've met with a couple of agents, but you're not sure if you really meshed. The idea behind 3 is that hopefully one of those 3 would be the right agent for you. What I do know about all 3 is that all 3 are top agents. All 3 are carrying what's called a certified residential specialist designation, which generally denotes the top 3% of agents in the United States. So if you're dealing with the top 3% of agents in the United States, you're in extremely good hands and extremely experienced hands. So it's about trying to help you get the right one and the right fit. Okay, so I hope that answers the question there, Tye, but that is a very, very good question. If that's something that you want to try out and have me help you with that, again, use my contact information in the show more description below. We can make that happen. For reference, you'd be in good company. I've made about 50 of those referrals over the last 12 months to my top agent network, and it's been working extremely, extremely well for those families. In fact, another one's getting ready to close here in about 2 weeks. I got the update from the buyers that have reached out to me, found me on YouTube, of course, and they're super, super excited. They sent me a link to their new home, and let me tell you, it's gorgeous, and I couldn't be happier for them. So, something to think about, something to consider. If you want to know more, just let me know. Darrin Carter says, and as a first-time home buyer, we were able to get all kinds of buyer and seller credits. I actually got a check at closing for $1,330. FHA is very good for buyers that don't have 10% to 20% down. You're absolutely right, Darrin. That's amazing, and that's awesome. I'm super, super happy that you were able to get some money back at closing. That's always like a fun time whenever somebody buys a home, and I really think it's fun as a trusted real estate advisor to be like, hey, I know that you put all this money in, but guess what? Title just called me, the lender just called me. You're about to get paid to buy your new home. So you're about to get a check back. And it's always super exciting when you get money back at the end of the day. So super excited that that worked out for you. You're absolutely right. FHA is an amazing loan product for first-time home buyers. Most commonly, you have a 3.5% down payment on a traditional FHA loan. And with down payment assistance or home as possible loans, you can actually have 0 down payment with the way those loan programs work. The trade-off of any down payment assistance or home as possible loan is what, though? You're going to have a higher mortgage interest rate at the end of the day, depending on the program. So the best way to know what your loan options is what? Pick up the phone, call a local loan officer, and review your options with you, right? That's the best way to know what programs are going to fit for you. All the same, Darrin, I am super, super stoked and that you brought that up. FHA is an amazing loan. Of course, if you're active duty or veteran, the next counterpart to that would be a VA loan, which is kind of like a Rolls Royce of all home loans, but you have to be active duty or veteran to use it. So the closest to that is probably going to be the FHA loan, which is phenomenal. So thank you for sharing your experiences with us, Darrin. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Tye says, thanks, I'll definitely do so. Great, Tye. I look forward to chatting with you after the live stream and helping you guys out any way that I can. Okay, then we had OpenHouseLV that had watched for sale by owners, 6 costly mistakes to avoid. OpenHouseLV says, thanks for pointing out some of these tips. So many mistakes can happen through for sale by owner. Yes, it can, unfortunately. I know there's people that want to go for sale by owner. The idea most of the time is that they want to save money on real estate commission. That's the number one reason that people go for sale by owner. Or perhaps they don't have the equity in the property and they're trying to sell it themselves, or they think that they can get more money for their home than a real estate agent is sharing with them that they realistically could. So there's a lot of different things that go for sale by owners. One of the things that are important to note, and in that video, I more than likely put the link to the National Association of Realtors Research and Statistics survey that comes out every single year. So when we're talking about for sale by owners, the statistics are that only 8%, so 8% of 100, right, will actually succeed in selling their home for sale by owner. And when they do sell for a like-in-kind property that was sold with a trusted real estate advisor, they generally sell their home for somewhere like $180,000 to $185,000, whenever the trusted real estate advisor would have sold it for $240,000. So you might be thinking, why is that, and why such a massive difference? It's because if you're for sale by owner, who's representing your best interest? You are. Well, if you're dealing with a savvy buyer agent that does this all the time, what are they going to do to their price? Whose best interest are they supposed to work for? They have fiduciary duties to the buyer and to represent and uphold the buyer's best interest. So they're going to start looking for every way to knock down your price. You have nobody there to defend you. So it's one of those things that there's so much that go into it, just like the comment was saying, there's so many things that could go wrong. So if you're looking at the difference alone, just from a numerical point of view, if you only have 8% odds of success, and you're talking about the difference of a sales price at $240,000 versus $180,000 to $185,000 for a like-in-kind property, that's staggering. You'd have to pay a real estate agent in excess of 20% real estate commission to even come close to those two numbers and the difference, right? And that's just not the case. I mean, real estate commissions are all negotiable, but let me tell you, I have never seen anyone anywhere or heard of anyone anywhere having a 20% real estate commission. More commonly, it's like maybe 7%, 8% on the high. I have seen a 10% before. There's a multi-million-dollar property though, and the situation was highly unique behind it as far as the seller's motivation, the marketing strategy that was taken. So 20% just doesn't happen. Again, 10%, I've only seen it once. So when you start talking about what's a normal real estate commission, it's hard to get into that conversation because legally, real estate commissions are open to negotiation. Now, there may be certain brokerage minimums, and the broker minimum could be 6%, it could be a 7%, or what have you, right? Depends on what the broker's minimum is and what that negotiation looks like in practice there. Either way, it's pretty interesting stuff. And if you were looking to go in for sell by owner, look, even in the strongest sellers markets, homes that are listed with professional trusted real estate advisors will still have about a third of those not sell based upon price or based upon issues with the house itself or something like that. So if you could work with a professional in a given industry, in this case real estate, why wouldn't you do so? I mean, I wouldn't try to go to a back alley doctor that have even a tooth removed. So I'd want to go to the dentist because that's their profession, that's what they do. If I was working with a car salesperson, I'd want the best car salesperson possible. If I was working with anybody else in a different industry, maybe a contractor, I want the best possible. And the charges are the charges. We all pay for what we get. It's important to be real with yourself and to be understanding of that. So make sure that you're doing your research with the trusted real estate advisors that you may wish to entertain and checking out those ratings and reviews and past sales performance to make sure that you have a good fit. Okay, Andy Cow says, hey Andrew, hope you're having a great week. Like I mentioned last week, we had our pre-construction meeting with our project manager. It went fantastic. He was thorough and answered all of our questions. They break ground tomorrow too. Andy, super excited to hear that. I'm glad that you had a robust and productive pre-construction meeting and super happy that they're breaking ground on your new place tomorrow. Definitely looking forward to the updates as you move forward with the new home construction process with your new place. If you have questions along the way, please do share with us so we can answer those questions and learn and grow together and help other people make sense of the real estate process. Andy, thank you so much for being here, and I always enjoy seeing your comments coming through in the updates that you provide. Thank you. So that's all we have for today. If you have any other questions, hit me up briefly while we're getting ready to end the live stream. Definitely hoping that you guys enjoy a beautiful day. Really appreciate you being here today. And let's keep sharing this channel around and letting people know that we go live every Wednesday to engage more people and help more people make sense of the real estate process together. So if you have anything that comes up after the live stream, please use the comments. Please reach out to me. Hit it up in the after the fact chat if you like, and we'll make it happen for you come next week, and we'll get in touch with you as soon as possible, okay? Thank you for being here. In between now and next time, I'm wishing you and yours a lifetime full of love, wealth, abundance, and happiness. See you again soon.